Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Let's Talk. Joining me is two people today. We have our boy Fortune with Jackalmen Games. How you doing, man?
What's up, guys? Good to hear from you again.
And our boy Lake from Your Destiny. What's going on?
Hi.
Wonderful. All right, so here's what we are here to do today. We wanted to take a quick second on this Let's Talk to talk about some upcoming news and just kind of give you guys our fresh take on some of the erratas that has taken place on the article that was released on June 4th of 2019, which is Striking a Balance. So basically, guys, we are here to address some of the erratas, and this is the article that was released by Jeremy. And the first thing here is Snoke. So Snoke has played a major role in the metagame ever since last autumn. His power action is unquestionably one of the strongest in the game and has most often blah blah blah, he's broken. That's what this says. He's broken and he will not ramp anymore. Which means we're going to play Destiny again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pretty excited about that.
Nice.
So, guys, let's talk about this. Let's focus on Snoke, and then after we're done, we're going to check out where people can find the updated rules and also touch on some of the red that's there in the new updated rulebook. So first off, how do you guys feel about Snoke? You guys happy? You sad? I mean, what do you guys think about this?
Shout out to every single person who said my plan for nerfing Snoke like half a year ago was wrong when I said just make it so that he can only resolve damage. Suck it. I win. I was right.
Bam.
We brought him on just to say that, guys.
All right. Goodbye, Lake.
All right, thank you.
All right. So there's two changes that happen to Snoke. One, he gets removed from the balance of the Force, right? So he's back down to 11-13.
Yes. So yes, and part of the blah 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 that I cut out. Yes, that does happen. He drops back down to point, which is huge.
And also, his power action turns from being able to increase any die by 2 to just die showing damage.
Character dice showing damage.
Character die showing damage, right? So basically, he becomes an aggro deck character. So, like, Snoke Kylo is going to probably be pretty big. But yeah, it's a pretty massive nerf. 99% of what Snoke was used for was resource ramp, so I'm pretty excited to see it.
It's funny because Cad Snoke was like a big aggressive kind of tech that was there, which you did very well with, James, and you kind of helped put that on the map, and that did what it did, and that was great. And then people started using it for ramp, and then we are where we are now, and then so forth and so on. So he's kind of going back to that, almost essentially like what FFG was trying to do was make him more of an aggressive buff, because it even mentions in the article here that they wanted him to kind of feel more appropriate with pairing people like Kylo.
Let me get in there about Kylo Snoke. I actually played that a ton. That was by far my favorite deck at the end of that meta.
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't think that deck's going to be very good
now
because a lot of the strength of that deck was actually power actioning. It wasn't all the strength, but a lot of that strength power was in power actioning its disrupt and resource side, so you could help ramp out, and like it also like that's what gave you a what do you call it, a puncher's chance against support decks. You could disrupt them for 3 and like really set them back.
Yeah.
Granted, a lot of the support decks were Snoke decks. There's still going to be support decks that are making money. Like that's still going to be a thing. So, Holocron is gone, and so is Rise Again. So I actually don't think Kylo Snoke will be thematic. I doubt it'll be strong.
So
Right.
Funny that you mentioned that, because Ashton mentioned that Cad Snoke was my deck back in the day when Snoke first came out. A lot of the strength in that deck was being able to discard 4 from your opponent just at pretty much any given time. So it's definitely less effective now that Snoke can only deal with melee, or only deal with character die showing damage. So it's a pretty big change, but I don't know, just the ability to just immediately dump a ton of damage with one action feels good.
The thing too to note is that this is going into effect on the 10th, so that's pretty quick. So they're addressing it fast. It's going to be here by the 10th. So for upcoming Nova and what else we have? Nova, we have obviously Gen Con. Yes, thank you. So Nova, Gen Con coming up here soon. This will be in effect for that.
Yep,
When's Gen Con? August?
I think it's August.
Yeah. So that's going to be neat to see what happens and what becomes viable there.
So let's just can we just have a like a look back on what Snoke was? So we have a character that was the villain version of Yoda.
Yes.
So like Yoda, Yoda gives you like 2 additional like symbols a turn. Like he'll give you like an extra. His dice resolve, and they do two symbol effects. They do like a shield and a focus, or like a mill isn't a side, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
He gives like each of his die can do 2 things.
Yes.
Snoke's broke ass. What he does is he gives you that +2, and his dice are still good to go. It's insanity. So you can have 4 focus and +2 something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excuse me.
I mean, he's 11, 13. He was at 14 elite,
health.
and he has 11 health. I mean, yeah, he's great. 2 focus is bonkers.
He zaps a guy, but like, who cares?
So he's still gonna be playable.
Oh,
You guys feel he will be? Maybe not so much as we saw before, but I mean, the 2 focus and the resource and the point value for cost is still good.
So he's relegated to damage decks now.
Mm-hmm. So he's way more limited.
His damage sucks.
Oh yeah,
like,
he's not 4 damage.
It's okay, but that's like an emergency thing. Like, the 2 focus is strong. He's a lot worse. He's like half as good as he was.
What do you think people are going to pair him with immediately? Now that they see him as damage, you think they're going to focus on him at all, or you think they're going to put him on the back burner for a while?
So here's the thing: whenever a big character gets nerfed, a lot of people will immediately stop playing him, specifically just because now they have the option to play something else.
Yeah.
Where they were pretty much playing that character only because it was the most broken thing in the game. So I think that we'll see the majority of players kind of jump off of it just to have something else to play. I think there will still be aggro players that play him in things like Kylo Snoke, but it will definitely be a very small percentage of the field.
I got exactly one answer for you. It's probably not even that great, but it's doable. And I just thought about this. I haven't really given it too much consideration. You could do Bitter Rivalry, Snoke, New Palpatine, both elite, right? 18 and 13?
18 and 13, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That might be a thing.
Yeah.
Double focus. Palpatine likes that, even though one of Palpatine's cards was nerfed, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah.
Double focus is still good. So maybe. It sucks though that he's a damage character with 1 damage side that's a 2 indirect.
Yeah, what made him so great was his versatility on that power action. Now you're dealing 1 damage to yourself and then doing 2 damage to your opponent additional.
He's probably still strong. He's just like not
strong.
broken, and
He's strong. He's not broken.
Because he has a built-in like do 2 extra damage, which is kind of like a free die side.
They fixed him. I mean, and that's okay. I don't think it's something super crazy. But
what they did is they Ryan Johnson him. They just made him like a nobody that nobody cares about, right?
But he's still
you're
playable.
This cool thing, and everybody loved you, but my name's Ryan Johnson, and you're dead.
Pretty much.
Like, suck at anyone who is interested in you.
He's still playable. His points are good. His health's good. His sides are good. Power action's still good. He's just not broken.
Yeah.
And it puts people where they're encouraged to explore the game again.
Broken's where you want to be, though, unfortunately.
So, Iden Beckett for the win.
All right, what do we got next?
Ayla Secura. So she has been taken. Yes, I think all of us are super excited for this. Has been taken off the balance of the force for both the standard and infinite holocrons. So, what do you guys think about this?
So I don't think she ever should have gotten the point increase to begin with. I think it was kind of a quick reaction to how strong Rayla was becoming.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that Ayla was the problem in that deck. So having her taken off the balance, there's so many decks that I just want to throw her in now. I'm super happy to see her. She's definitely something that Blue Hero needs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ayla was strong at printing, but she got outpaced very quickly. Like, she should have been unnerfed earlier.
Right.
9 and 12 is great, and the special's amazing. We're all very familiar with her, and she is a Jedi. So we could do some cool things.
She's a leader, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, her subtype was put as a leader, I believe. Yes, we could double check that, but I'm pretty sure.
So, yeah, Mega Blaster Troopers, right? I'm just kidding.
Let's do All right, so anything we want to touch base with on Ayla before we go to Force Storm?
Strong. She's the strongest cheap melee character for blue.
Yes.
Is it enough to save the situation that blue heroes are in?
It's going to do a good job at trying to.
Combined with some of the new spoilers, it's definitely going to help.
Yeah.
Vader's Fist is still a card, though.
Yes.
Unfortunately, you don't need Snoke to play it turn 1.
Right. Yeah.
Snoke helped a lot, though, so that's nice.
It's gonna do some cool things though, like back to kind of the Snoke situation. It's gonna do some cool things with like Watto and Watt, which we're gonna get into Watto some more. But you know, Watt's gonna have some value. Watto's gonna have some more value because you're not gonna have, you know, Snoke to kind of like really break that. So that's gonna be
my biggest problem with this Ayla nerf is why did they not change Phasma? Why is Phasma still stuck in like hell?
Yeah, for real.
She's fine. She's not broken. She's as good as Ayla. Really?
99% chance that the reason why is because they know that hero needs some help right now because villain's just running rampant.
Yeah.
So they were like, villain don't need any better characters. Here you go, Ayla.
I see that. So I agree with that.
So you punish villain by
punish villain. What are you talking about? Punish villain.
Phasma's old Phasma's not even middle Phasma's not even particularly playable on nerf.
Yeah, but villain's fine. Villain's got a lot going for it.
They just lost Snoke. Counterpoint, they just lost Snoke. Is villain fine?
Yeah.
We'll find out. We'll
find out. Force Storm. So Force Storm here. So basically what this is talking about in a nutshell is, that's a podcast episode title. Shout out to Kevin. They officially just put it into writing to where Force Storm now cannot be essentially special chained out continuously.
Well, I mean, it can, but it can't ramp continuously.
Right.
So it's now changed to say exhaust this upgrade to place 1 resource on it.
Yes.
Period. Deal damage to a character equal to the number of resources on this upgrade. Blah blah blah.
Right.
So you can resolve that special as many times as you want, but
yes.
You're only ever going to increase it by 1 once per turn.
Right.
So it'll do. I'm gonna get fancy with my math. I hope Joe's listening, so he'll be proud of me. It'll do N damage, where N is equal to the number of turns you have, you've had it out for. I'm ready to be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
I'm ready to be wrong.
Yeah.
So I think that it actually becomes more viable to go for the bigger damage sides, like the 3 range that it has on it over the special now. But this is definitely something that needed to happen. I don't know how many of you have set across from the Force Storm as he kills you turn 1.
Mm-hmm.
Never, but, literally never, because I play like 10 plus removal in every deck.
But I've done that, and it feels like garbage. So I'm happy to see this happen.
My biggest problem is, for some reason, I own 4 Force Storms, and now I'm going to have a harder time selling the other 2.
Should have jumped on it quick.
But actually, I literally don't care about this because I run so much removal in general that Force Storm isn't particularly dangerous to me as a player. But I guess I can understand.
But again, with Force Storm and Lat Gunship, which is what we're moving into next, these are things that we were already aware of the change.
They're busted.
It's just we were aware of them. They were aware of the change. Now it's officially like there.
We were not aware of the Force Storm change until today.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah,
that is new. That is new.
Right.
So
Lat Gunship, nothing's changed there, correct?
Right. So we already knew the errata on it through the rules forum update.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just kind of in writing on the rules reference so that it's easier to find for people that don't know the forum exists.
Right.
But basically it means that you now have to immediately resolve its die after you re-roll it with its special.
Right.
Is Lat Gunship now the worst legendary?
Yes.
Is it worse than Rebellion Leader, which is my pick for worst legendary?
At least Rebellion Leader still kind of has a spot in one or 2 decks that focus on it. That's just kind of
overcosted. Yeah, forced too much. Yeah, maybe it is.
So, Watto, this we are super excited, and this is the last character that they're talking about here in the article, and then we'll go through the actual rules reference book just to check on a few things here. Again, this is just to kind of like let you guys understand this from the way we see it, give you our thoughts and opinions on these cards. But Watto, so this is a support character. or characters that generally can't win the game by themselves, have come a long way since the game released. Most of these types of characters from the Awakening cycle weren't strong enough to see Tier 1 competitive play, and it was a goal of ours to push some of the support characters until they did. In regards to Watto, the mission was accomplished. Okay, so they're talking about how Watto had a great die, solid power action, powerful ability, but the issue is that this character's character die cannot be removed by opponent's events. Well, they've changed that. So what they have changed is they have made it to where this ability has been given, and Errata protects this dice from only blue events. So only blue events is protected from. Everything else, free game, which is great. Especially when it was combined with Snoke's power action. I mean, that's what made that deck so great, is you had your resources on lockdown, and you had your ramp on lockdown. It was guaranteed, essentially. So what do you guys think about this change? Do you think it's too much? Do you think that it wasn't really needed since Snoke got errated? Like, is that too much? Or do you think even though it's errated, he still needs to be opened up more for mitigation?
So I do think that this is what Watto should have been from the start, because that's obviously what they were going for with the effect, is thematic, Qui-Gon couldn't mind trick him.
Mm-hmm.
But I do kind of agree that Snoke is really what pushed Watto into the broken territory. So having both him and Snoke nerfed at the same time might be a bit too much. But I'm all for being able to remove Watto's dice, so I'm happy with it, but I just don't know if both of the big characters and villain being hit at the same time would be a good idea.
But Lake, will he still be playable?
Well, hold on. Before I get there, you know what's funny?
What's that?
So, with some of the new spoilers we've seen, you actually still can mind trick him. Jedi mind trick lets you change. Mm-hmm. So, like, if he had never changed his ability, you still would be able to like flip his die to a blank. So,
right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe Jedi mind trick's just busted.
It is still definitely busted. Yes.
And for what he's talking about, guys, make sure you check out Sound the Alarm episode 7. Lake actually was there with us as a guest, and we went through the new batch of spoilers dropped. So if you guys haven't seen that, go check that out. You can hear our opinion about Jedi mind trick and how busted it is.
So how good is Watto? Here's what I think. I think that there's a very real chance that you could have and probably should have left Snoke alone. You probably should have left Snoke alone and just hit Watto. Because the biggest problem with Snoke really was the fact that Watto's dice couldn't get messed with. Like, yeah, it sucks when Snoke power actions like a discard or a resource or something like that, but look, removal's in the game. Running it is just a part of how things work. And with Snoke being at 14 points, there's like a very increased presence in him needing to be run in either like 3 die setups or 4 die setups, but the additional 2 dice come out one by one. So you should always be able to remove the dice with an event. I suppose that was a bit of a rant, but what I'm trying to say is that the fact that Watto didn't let you touch his dice was really was really broken with Snoke, because the counterplay to Snoke just wasn't there.
That's why I think it wasn't necessary to hit both, honestly.
Now, I think there's some future proofing probably involved.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, because Jeremy knows things that we don't know about the future sets and the future cards.
Right.
So that's what makes me want to believe that Snoke was nerfed early. Personally, I'm not a fan of nerfing like that. I know games do that. Off the top of my head, I know Hearthstone does this. They'll nerf like cards like early, before a new set comes out. I don't like that. I'd rather the cards be nerfed when the new set comes out. That way you can have like the most time possible with the cards that you like or go wherever. But that's my take on it. Also, I think Watto's done now. I think it's done though. So much of his strength was in that his dice couldn't be removed.
His power action, his protection. You're spending the one resource and you're re-rolling it, and then you still get to resolve it to get those resources later. Versus now you power action, you spend one, you gain one, right?
And blue, or whatever the case may be. The worst removal color anyways. Yellow and red have that unlock.
Right. And then additional two.
His power action is whatever. His power action is whatever, it's got the resources on it, but
sir,
yes.
Did you just call Jedi Mind Trick part of the worst?
It's not out yet. It's not out yet. Full immunity. Card's not out yet.
There you go.
All right, so guys, this is the article that FFG dropped. These were some of the big keynotes that they were talking about here, and they mentioned here in the rules reference update. So we're going to skip over to that. So where that is on FFG's website. You go down there to Star Wars Destiny. You'll see where the rules guide, and this is what we're looking at. So this was the 6.4 update, and on page 23, you see the erratas in place, and here's where you can see the Snoke, where it said it should read deal 1 damage to another one of your characters to resolve one of its character dice, showing damage, increasing its value by 2. And then we see the Force Storm that we just spoke about, which is blue character only. Exhaust this upgrade to place 1 resource on it. Deal damage to a character equal to the number of resources on this upgrade. Reroll this die instead of removing it. And then we have the Lack Gunship, and we just spoke about Watto. So anything else you guys want to touch base on page 23 here?
No, I think we hit most of it right on the head.
And again, this is going to go into effect on the 10th. And then when we get here to the character subtypes, we don't see anything that's changed there. If we move further down into page 25, we don't see any adjustments or changes there. Same thing for 26 and 27. And here we have on page 28 the no answer change and the how do you pronounce that again?
The Unity Force.
Unity Force Tree. Thank you, sir. So no answer. James, talk to me about the no answer change.
So yeah, turns out there were actually a pretty good amount of people that didn't realize that the card worked this way. But it was clarified that no answer allows you to mill 3 from your opponent's deck as long as your opponent has no cards in their hand. So the big mill decks theoretically could play it once, discard 1 from your hand and 3 from your deck.
Right.
And then recur it back with something like Resistance Ring to discard another 3 on the same turn, which is pretty massive. And honestly, the combo was really helping to kind of push mill up. So now it has been changed to where you can only discard the 3 from the deck if you have discarded the 1 from hand. So it only gets its full use really once, or it can only get its use once per turn.
Yeah, and a lot of people are like, oh, I've been playing it this way already, which, yeah, I did see that a lot. And then there was actually a lot of people that I spoke to that were like, they should add the word then. And that's what they did.
Yep, it's exactly what they did.
So, Lake, any thoughts on this?
I have thoughts about Mill. But you'll have to check out your Destiny's content to find out.
That's right.
I know straight from Jeremy how he feels about Mill and how viable he thinks it should be.
What does he think? Give me a little tidbit on that.
Well, you can't really give it tidbit. It's kind of like a 1-sentence thing on like what he thinks the viability of it should be. But I'll just say that like a change like that doesn't surprise me.
Okay. So, James, talk to us about the Force Tree, man. Read that out. There's already been some changes to this. It's been in effect, but again, it's been added to the rules update. So read out what it used to do and kind of tell us a little bit more about the change.
So yeah, again, this was one of the ones in the rules form that just kind of gets translated over to the rules reference so that it's easily to find. So basically, the last sentence of the support's ability is considered a then effect and should read, then you and that player each draw a card. So effectively, before this happened, the Unity Force Tree was an infinite draw deck card. So just on any given turn where you have it down, you just draw out your entire deck into your hand. It can do whatever you want.
Yeah, pretty nuts.
Obviously, that wasn't what they meant for it to do. So if I remember correctly, it got like an emergency errata. Immediately after the set came out, it went up on the rules form. But yeah, so it's nice to see it in the rules reference now.
Lake, anything you want to throw at this?
I don't even know what that card does.
It tells you right here.
It has a before effect. And
I see they changed some text on a card that no one ever played ever.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
my take on it.
Right. You're not wrong. You are not wrong.
Yeah, so it originally read, action, exhaust the support to choose another player. You and that player each draw a card.
Yeah, that's about the level of bad it would take for me not to know what a card does.
So basically it was an exhaust to draw 1, but because the you and that player each draw a card was after a period, it was an infinitely repeatable thing.
Did it have a cost?
Because it's like,
did you say the cost was?
It literally said, you and that player draw each, you each draw a card. You and that player each draw a card. You and that player each draw, like that's what it did because of the period separation. Instead of then.
The card, if that card has a resource cost, it's
I literally remember when
unplayable.
that
If it
card
has a
got
resource
spoiled. People were
cost
like,
of 0, it's broken.
It does have a 1 cost.
yeah.
Yep, unplayable.
It was just so funny
It is
because
definitely unplayable now with the errata.
people were like,
Oh, yeah.
wait a second. And that was like the immediate response. We just draw cards.
It's just it was the repeat of, I know it was like the repeat of the Qui-Gon's lightsaber
Yeah,
thing. We're
that was
really?
another machine gun
FFG,
Qui-Gon.
Really? We were just here.
Yep.
If I
Just
remember
here.
correctly, like both of those happened almost back to back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
And
And if
FFG has syntax problems.
we move down to the rest of this update, I think that's everything.
That was it.
Yep, that's it. So, guys, these are the updates, and these are all in. Some of them already have been in effect, but this officially is all in effect as of the 10th. So, by the time this is released, 5 days.
5 days.
5 days.
You get 1 weekend with him.
Enjoy it while you can.
That's
I
right.
said him. I'm just thinking of Snoke because nothing else matters.
Right. All right, guys. Well, again, thank you guys for being here. And we wanted to just kind of address this, get this out to our people, and make sure that you guys are aware of how this stuff worked and how it works now, to give you information and kind of like give you our thoughts on it. So we are happy with the changes, and I'm super stoked to get back involved with Ayla.
Yeah, Ayla seems sweet.
Same.
I probably misspoke there when I said nothing else matters. I meant nothing else matters to me because I'm losing Snoke.
To 99% of players, that's all that matters.
Right.
At least the sides of my dice won't wear all the way off.
Yeah. They did that just for that reason.
I'll have some form of glory.
The plastic's not holding up. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And you guys, if you guys need to find us anywhere, or if you need to find Lake on Your Destiny, you could check out Your Destiny. And Lake, do you have any other areas they can reach you specifically, or any other deeper content that Your Destiny offers?
Nobody wants to reach me, but Your Destiny. Actually, if for some reason you want to reach me, you can just hit me up on Discord or something like that, or on Facebook. But Your Destiny, we've got yourdestiny.dk. Great articles.
107-page article on mitigation.
We've got YouTube uploads too. Yeah, it's not 107.
Great
pages,
live
but
streams. You guys have
like
some
8.
great quality live streams.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we have great stuff. Come check us out. We're the best. Number 1. Jackalmen's number 2. All
right, guys.
Great. It's my last time on the show. After that.
All right, you guys take it easy. Thank you so much. And again, Fortune, thank you again, buddy. I appreciate you being here.
Anytime.
And we will catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy.